For the players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And this is For the Players, the pop culturist PlayStation podcast for 40 years of playing PlayStation and 10 plus years in that games meeting. But I'd like to thank you for joining us in this PlayStation conversation.
This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to join us in future conversations, you can. Come and check out our socials, Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and Twitter. All those links can be found in the description below.
If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopculturist, where you watch us record this show live, where you can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can by telling your friends, telling your family about this PlayStation Pod. If you are listening on podcast services, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you are watching us on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, or comment below. I endeavor to answer every single one. If you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/thepopculture, as well as our merchandise store, popculture.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. Now, Max, it's the name of the episode. We're just going to fucking straight into it because I can't stop thinking about it as well. Even right now, as we have to do the show, I'm like, yeah, this show's cool and I like doing it and I really enjoy talking to people, but I kind of want to be playing Call of Duty DMZ right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I wasn't so tired, I'd be down.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's what I hate on in just a moment. But like this game has been all consuming for me this week. We're just right into the fucking punches this week. No, I'll say how you doing? Yeah, Call of Duty. DMZ is the answer. So we talked about this last week, or the week before, I believe. The new Warzone 2.0 dropped. It's gonna and Max was like, "Hey, let's give us a bell." I'm like, "Warzone Battle Royale." It's like, "There's this new mode called DMZ. It's fucking sick. It's literally the Dark Zone from the Division. We escape from Tarkov, all the things." Like, I've always wanted to play Tarkov because, like, what intrigued me about it was the PvP and the PvE mixed with the mission structure and the bring your loot in and escaping it out. Blah blah. Ticks all the boxes. Turns out DMZ also ticks all the boxes. It has been like I have hated this game over this last week, but I cannot stop playing it. I cannot stop playing it. And I know you're the same.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
And it hurts.
Yeah, really good.
It's so painful because, like, knowing that both you and I X amount of months ago, like, nah, Call of Duty, man. Nah, I think we're done. I think I'm kind of done with Call of Duty. Like, it just doesn't seem to hit anymore these days. Like, nah, I'm a little bit too old for it. I think my reflexes are a little bit shot. Yeah, nah. And then both of us like, this game's fucking amazing. And we get just, like, hard into it. What are you loving about it, Max? Now, look, everyone, Max is fucked. He's super tired. He may have fallen asleep in the chair before we started recording, so we're not going to expect a lot out of him today.
The fun I'm having with DMZ is mostly purely when I play solo with randoms in my squad. Ooh. I rock the proximity chat, and I just fuck with people. So the other day, I'll give you an example. And I wasn't playing with randoms this time. So me and a friend, Zil, we were playing duos in DMZ set up as a trio game type. We were playing duos, and we were in one of the locations, which is basically like a fucking police headquarters thing. And up on our screen pops up, "You guys are being hunted. Fucking survive the contract." So we knew a team was after us, and it gives you essentially like a bar graph of how close they are to you. And I'm like, man, they're here. Like the bar's full. They're fucking here. So we climb up on the roof of the police station, and then I can hear them. I can hear their footsteps. They're running around beneath us. And Zill's like, "There's only one way up onto this roof, right? It's the ladder." He's like, "I'm just gonna fucking watch this ladder like a hawk." I'm like, "All right, cool. You do that. I'm gonna see if I can peek him a little bit." I fucking look over the side of the building, and there's a dude just standing there. And I'm like, "All right, dead." And then I hear him go, "They're on the roof. Come get me." And then 2 more guys climb up the ladder, start reviving. I peek my head back over the roof, take them all out, jump down, steal all their loot. I'm like, zealous guy. we're out of here.
Nothing beats like there was that.
Oh.
It's the stories that make, like, any good multiplayer like this. It's the stories that always bring it home. So like, even you and I were playing last night, and it was you, myself, and Zil. And we were trying to exfil our way out of this space. And we as we're approaching the heli, there's another group wanting to use the same chopper. Essentially, we see the chopper heading up, like, oh no, fuck this place. You're like, no, we good. You launch a throwing knife, you patung, 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 and then a body just falls out of the sky. Like, how the actual fuck you hit this person, I got no idea. But their loot falls out, and you hear that, yeah, it's just the proximity of fuck. It's like,
well, I like the one after that where we're exfilling off the roof of the building. There's 2 guys up there with fucking riot shields running at us, and then you and Zil just don't get off the helicopter and you just fucking leave me on the roof.
Well, no, I took out the dude chasing you in the riot because you jumped into the hot chopper and then out. So the guy in the riot shield, like the bot, followed you in, and then as you jumped out, he got confused. So I come behind him and just like shot the living piss out of him. And then we're like, cool, boo. And then like, the second you hit the chopper, you go from like a 35-second count to like a 6-second count. So like, the second we hit it, and you're like, bah. But thankfully it didn't like end the game for you. We just had to spectate you while you bought another chopper, which I appreciate.
I kind of just hung out and just got another chopper. It wasn't too bad.
But yeah, like, and there's also like painful stories as well. So today, like, so I play a lot solo at the moment. I don't squad up with anyone else. I just go in solo. Bad fucking call, because all I do is get mad at the game. Like, because there's very rarely do I get taken out by other players, right? I get taken out by these unnecessary, like, some bots are like the shittest aim in the entire fucking world. Like, they just don't hit dick. But then there are some that are pinpoint accurate, and they're the ones that fuck me up. Like, I'm ducked behind a thing, I'm mounted, I'm around the corner, I'm popping them off, making sure my armor's all good, and then some prick just comes out of nowhere and blows my asshole in. Or a chopper just comes in overhead and drops 9 more dudes, and then they all proceed to fuck my face in.
I kind of like the, hey man, I found the locker for the key that you have, and you're like, okay. You use your key to open the locker, and then all of a sudden there's a fucking juggernaut with a minigun who just proceeds to fuck all 3 of us.
Yeah, it was so we're hunting. Like, I got, because one of the things the game does is one of the collectibles is keys, and you can bring these out. If you exfil, you take them with you. So next time you run in, you can go and you can unlock various locations to get better loot, better guns, better contracts, etc. to bounce. I have this key. I don't know, fucking scientist something. It's apparently to the observatory. Cool, let's go. We go to the observatory. We spend like what felt like an hour trying to find this thing. And we go, oh, it's a locker. That's a weird choice. All right, cool, no worries. And like about 5 minutes beforehand, we get the alert, hey, a juggernaut's in the area. Like, yeah, no worries, cool. Like, we're underground. Like, it's fine. Open the locker, and next thing, minigun fire blasting up this hallway. We get
I'm sitting crouched in front of Betson with a fucking riot shield in front of the minigunner.
And out of pure panic, you've bumped a button, and then you've either stood up or moved your shield. We both get annihilated. And then Zil comes in, revives us. We manage to escape. But as we're running away, the Juggernaut just up, like, in almost like Jason Voorhees level of accuracy, pops up out of nowhere and just fucks us all up again. This game's great. But even then today, like, so you have varying size backpacks, small, medium, large, it allows you to store more shit. I went in today, solo run, I had a large backpack full of keys. I'm like, oh man, I'm going to exfil the shit out of these, and then like the next set of runs, I'm tight. Like, I always have something to do. I get to the exfil site, it's near the airport, knock off everyone around me, brilliant, cool. Like, what the fuck is heli? 9 dudes drop out, all of them, you know, the blue level shield motherfuckers, decimated instantly. Like, and they land, and it's almost like a, and they all look directly at me, and I'm out, done in a second. And I almost murdered my PlayStation. And then I was like, fuck this game, and I played another round. It's insane because it's hitting the same. I think it's the fact that what I'm loving about it is it's hitting the same part of my brain like the Division did, or even that loot grind that Outriders did. But it's delivered in actually a really smooth package. In that, like, I'm having no major hitches, no tech, no chat like this. I'm not having a bad negative gameplay experience. Like, it's pretty smooth, at least for me. And when you've got games that come out right now that just suck a whole bunch of bumhole, like aside from Ragnarok, which ran incredible, you look over at Pokemon, you know, a 20-something-year-old franchise that looks like a PS2 game and runs worse. And then you see like Gotham Knights is incapable of running particular things, and you see other games that are just not capable of being games. And it's just insane that this. Who knows how long they've been working on this DMZ? I remember talking about it what feels like a year ago, maybe a bit more. And it just comes in and it's smooth and it's in beta. Like, I don't know what they can do to improve it. Like, I know it's all testing bed right now, but like, what do they do to make it better? Apart from more maps, I guess. It's so damn good. It's painfully good. Apart from that, man, hey Ben.
Not too bad. Had everyone's been sick in my house this week, so it's been one of those weeks, but it's all right. We're getting there. I've begun my fucking countdown till Christmas because I'm super keen to take holidays.
Oh, I'm on leave so fucking bad.
I've got 4 weeks left of work, and then I get a whole 5 days off.
Oh. Don't you have any leave up your sleeve?
Yeah, I do, but I'm saving it for when I move.
Well, how much you plan on moving?
A month.
I just want to take a month off so you can settle.
Yeah, I probably won't be able to take a month. I'll probably be able to take like a week or two, but
yeah, pretty cool. But and you've also had the unfun part of being out of power for like 36 hours.
Yeah, so that was fun. On I don't even remember what fucking day it was.
Yeah, so I get this message from Max on Friday. It was Saturday morning or Friday? I mean Friday night.
I don't even know.
Yeah, either way, I get a message from Max being like, "Hey,
it was Friday.
Friday. Like, hey, he sent me a picture of this article. Essentially, the idea of a crane fucking blows apart some power line on the road down from me, or the road that Max lives on. I was like, oh, that sucks. I have power. He's like,
yeah, basically 5 houses down from me, a house was being worked on or renovated, and the crane fucking tipped and hit the power lines on the other side of the road. And they're like, it's all good. We'll have it fixed by 4 p.m.
Tomorrow.
8 p.m. 8 a.m. 3 p.m. So 27 hours of no power means like a fucked up fridge. Like we had to throw out everything in the fridge. Everything in the fridge, all gone. I ended up staying at my in-laws' house because they were thankfully out of town. So we like crashed their place. And like I slept on a fucking uncomfortable as shit single bed.
Ugh.
And it was just like gross.
Yeah. I live 3 minutes down the road, not even. I had power. It was great.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
The joys of being on a different grid.
Well, which is interesting because I remember there's that one time that we were both out of we were both out of power because a raccoon, some fucking possum blew itself apart in the in one of the local.
Yeah, I guess
boxes.
it depends on where it hits because it's funny. So when the distributor first sent out the thing saying we're out of power, it was North Valley Road, which is where I am, and it's like 400 and something houses affected. And then when they fixed it by 8 p.m. the previous night, it went like now on Barwon Boulevard, which is down and around the corner down near where the river is. 52 houses are now being affected. And unfortunately, my house was one of the 52 affected still. So I was really shitty.
It may be as simple as because it blew apart the line on the other side of the road.
Like you could see the line hanging in the middle of the fucking it got fucked up. The crane was hanging. The crane was lying sideways on the road until the following morning. They fucking. Yeah. No, in the chat, you can claim food from the power company. Yeah, so we took a bunch of photos to send to the distributor because they will cover a
Power
certain
call.
cost. Yep, they'll cover a certain cost, but they're like, we want receipts. I don't know anyone who fucking keeps receipts for their groceries because I fucking don't. half the time I don't even print them when I go through self-service.
Yeah.
So he just took a bunch of photos, and we'll get what we get, which is probably fuck all. What pissed me off the most was Friday morning, as you know, I had a hankering for bacon and eggs, so I bought a fucking shitload of bacon and stuff. All gone.
I got this message from Max at like fucking 7 in the morning. Oh, no, it was like 5:30 because I was up early because I had to work at an expo in Melbourne for work. And so I got up a little bit earlier just so I'd make sure I'd leave on time. I got ready really quickly, so I played DMZ. But Max just obviously like saw me awake and was like, he just starts messaging me, clearly back end of his work day. He's like, I'm fucking killing for bacon and eggs. I'm like, that's sweet. I'm playing Call of Duty.
It was at 7 o'clock. I was literally just going to come like, hey man, I know you've been playing DMZ in the morning. I'm fucking keen, but I need to get some bacon and eggs on the way home. Will you be on in half an hour?
And I'm like, I just left to the city. Otherwise, yes. But no, I just left to the city. What a weekend you've had.
Oh, it's been fucking gross.
Bit poo for you.
Yeah.
I had a pretty good weekend.
My nephew's birthday this morning too.
Oh yeah, gross.
Cool.
It's one of those, like, I know this is really horrible, but it's like one of those like nephews you love, you like.
Yeah, he's alright.
Because you know how there's like some nieces and nephews, you're like, yeah, I'm a big fan of Ian. This, I'm like,
no, he's alright.
It's like cousins. You're like, hey, I don't fucking give a. I have no. Like, I'm apathetic towards your existence. Like, not that I don't despise them, I just don't fucking care about them. My nieces and nephews though, awesome. So I only have like, one sister, and her kids are brilliant. But like, yeah, cousins. Don't care about.
Enough about me though. How about you?
I had a great weekend, man. So I had my son for 2 days this week. So I had him on Friday night and Saturday night, which was fantastic. So he's
Good thing you had power.
Yeah, lucky I had power. It was great. So he's done swimming lessons the last 2 weeks. I think I talked about it. And so my son, like, because he was
you
young,
were like fucking.
Yeah, well, because he was young, and then obviously COVID played a big role. He hadn't really gone out swimming because it's just not something that we had done. So he's kind of brand new to it. So he's done a little bit in the past. So Millie's parents, Mike's in-laws, they had a pool. So we did some stuff when he was younger, but not frequent enough for him to be confident in water. So over the last 2 weeks, but they essentially did 10 sessions of swimming lessons, and he did all right. He was getting better and better. But the idea was, I was like, hey, we're gonna go to the pool on Saturday when you come to my place. I want you to show me all the things you learnt over your last 2 weeks to sort of give him that reinforcement that he did a good job. And he's always had this real problem with putting his head underwater. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't like it.
We can't fucking breathe.
Yeah, look, that's probably a big part of it. But yeah, like even washing his hair is a bitch because he just doesn't like dunking his head. So it's a real hassle. But we were at the pool. And Adam, we're talking about like, hey, we're just doing bubbles under the water. You're doing like kind of like those little things to sort of like try to get him comfortable. And I was showing him, I was like, you hold your nose, you got your goggles on, like, and you get bigger breath and you jump in and drop in. We'll do it at the same time. Like, yeah, no worries. I drop in and he hesitates. So I'll try it again. And then once he realized it's not that gnarly, he's like, oh, okay. And then proceeds to just do it over and over and over and over again. And then in all his ADHD excitement, he just gets really fucking excited and then just proceeds to jump onto the water, like not holding his nose, nothing. Then he just gets up and goes, I did it without holding my nose. Like, yeah, dude, wasn't that cool? And even later on, he's got his goggles on his forehead and he just jumps in and then goes, oh no, I forgot I didn't put my goggles. Just got so excited. And then one of his mates just happened to be there from school. We were there for 4 hours. So 3 hours in, his mate rocks up. I was like, we were just on the cusp of going out. I was like, oh, fuck. So, and then, thanks to the power of positive peer pressure, he and his friends were like, supporting each other and being like, like his mate was a bit nervous too. And then James like, I did it before. I went under the water like by myself. Blah, blah, blah. And then he did it.
They weren't doing shot poolside?
No. It was, not that kind of peer pressure. It was so it wasn't like, get under the water, you pussy. No, it was like really, really nice, actually. And then bit by bit he got more comfortable and then he jumped in off the side into the water, which he never would have done earlier that day. So it was really, really good. So he's all like super proud of himself or positive now. And he was like, even today, he's like, can we go to the pool again? I'm like, no.
You're like, I was there for 4 hours.
I was there for 4 hours. Like, I'm still wrinkly. Like, we swam and fucked around the whole time. My abs hurt. My legs hurt. Nah. Let's go next time. But we also so out of nowhere, it's he's got really into like the idea of Godzilla versus King Kong. I don't fucking know why. So we watched that last night, and we watched the first half last night, second half this morning, and like it was one of those first like movies he really got into. Like because he's like 6 and full of ADHD. He's bad at watching movies in full, as am I. But like you find the right one that gets him excited, like you can lock in really hard. So when he was like, "I want to watch this movie," I'm like, "All right, let's give it a burl." Like let's reinforce that. I got him to watch Aladdin the other week. I think I talked about. So I'm trying. I'm getting there. I'm trying to be a good dad. I don't know how well I'm doing, but I'm giving it a go. And then today we had War Games on. Which is a WWE pay-per-view. Watched that for a little bit, and then he just wanted to wrestle around, so I ended up doing that, and I'm pretty sure I busted my body some more. And we were doing like pretend chair shots and shit with like a lid on one of his toy containers. And then I have a boogie board in my courtyard from another wrestling show. It was meant to be used as a weapon. They're going to strap light tubes to it. Never did. They just left it here. James comes out of nowhere. Like he just fucks off. Comes back with the boogie board, proceeds to kick the piss out of me with his boogie board. Just tons of fun. But yeah, that was my weekend, pretty much. Out of all this time, I'm sitting here going, man, there's some other games that I really should be playing. But thankfully, Max came in the clutch.
Your boy finished one.
Max finished one that I should have. I will work on this week. Fucking DMZ. Max, you rolled credits on The Devil in Me, the latest in the Dark Pictures Anthology.
The finale of the Dark Pictures Anthology, Season 1. Chapter 1, Season 1.
Whatever the fuck it is, yeah.
Prologue 1, whatever we're calling them these days. So yeah, as we spoke about last week, thanks to the team over at Bandai Namco Australia for providing us a copy of the game. We've both been playing it. Like you said, it's the latest in the Dark Pictures Anthology. Follows very loosely based upon the H.H. Holmes serial killer stuff.
The Murder House.
The Murder Castle this time.
Yeah, it's a big mansion.
Big fuck off mansion with booby traps everywhere.
Booby.
There's 5 characters that you follow through. So and they're all essentially a part of an indie film TV thing, and they're making one of those biopic documentaries about.
Yeah, like all those YouTube videos you watch where like ghost hunters and stuff, kind of that, but like supernaturally more.
Supernatural, but not as good as at surviving or killing things.
Yeah, not quite as good as Nuke's Top 5. That's a really good ghost channel.
Of the 5, I managed to keep 3 alive.
Hey, I've already killed one of them, so that's not good.
Not bad for me. This was my favorite of the 4.
Oh.
Really good storytelling, really cool, interesting source material that it's based on. Probably one of the jankier ones.
Yeah.
I had a lot of texture issues, a lot of random cutscene issues. Other than that, it wasn't too bad. But yeah, I think it's the strongest of the 4. But it's very much just another Dark Pictures Anthology game. They haven't gone too crazy from any of the previous ones. The camera controls a little bit better as they've been working through them all, so you kind of have that freedom of movement now. We both sang praises to the fact that there's a dedicated fucking jogging button, and you can kind of run around, which makes the in-between travel a little bit less tedious than it has been in the past, which is awesome. Really good addition. Hopefully they follow through with that. But yeah, really, really dug it. So in order for me, it is now this one, Devil in Me, Little Hope, Man of Medan, and the other one,
House of Ashes.
House of Ashes. You can tell that's my least favorite because I can't even remember its name.
Yeah. So like, I think it was House of Ashes where they really sort of brought in that 3D movement within the Dark Pictures. There was a little bit of that in the Quarry as well, but yeah, here it's certainly a bit more fleshed out. Once again, I have not rolled credits on it yet, but I have been enjoying it. One of the things that they integrated a lot more here is the idea of puzzles, which has been very interesting. How did the puzzles either escalate or grow or change in the time?
they didn't really.
Like very novel. They're
Well,
very novelty. It's like press
not,
buttons.
I wouldn't even call them puzzles. It's more of a push this crate here so you can jump through the gap, because obviously you can't make the distance. Like that's the extent of the puzzle solving.
Or you need to, repower the space. Hit the switches in the right order.
But I mean, in saying that, it's not difficult because it gives you the instructions. So you've literally just got to follow the instructions.
Yeah.
It's not problem solving. It's just do what it's telling you to do. It's just instead of just flicking the switch on or off, you have to flick them in order, but we're going to provide you with the order.
Correct.
So it's not like it's this huge, big issue.
So one of the biggest problems that we had with the Quarry was how like the story fucking is slow and then builds and builds and then it just ends. How is this story like it from a once again everyone's experience of this story will always be different in that how the decisions that you make, the choices that you do, the people that survive, those that do, those that don't. How did you feel? How was your story experience?
From my playthrough, it was paced fairly well. Once you get to a certain point when essentially the group splits up, that's when everything starts happening. And then for the most part, it's you trying to bring them all back together to escape.
So, okay, come.
But I had this really interesting part where they kind of turned on each other.
Ooh.
Because they, I can't remember exactly what led to this point, but one of the team members accused another one of basically colluding with the person that was killing everyone. They're like, "This is your fault. You're the one who made us come here.
Was this the dinner scene?
You're the one doing this to all of us." No, so
there's another one after.
One of the characters that died left a dying message on her window because you watch her die.
So it's no spoilers. We've already spoiled it to her.
Yeah, and they basically went, "It's this person," and then everyone's like, and then for a while everyone was like hating on this person. So,
well, because the idea of the dinner scene's not really spoilers. Early on, before the shit hits the fan, they have this big scene where all the characters sit around a table and then just yell at each other, and you can choose how to control that scene, which just makes it fun. With that in mind, one of the things that I lost my brain fart. I lost it. Where'd it go? Yes. So when we talk about the Quarry, but how you like to play the game, and in terms of you enjoy playing as more of a director, where I like to go by the character development and how I feel it goes organically. Like an example, my version of Charlie is an overbearing asshole because that's the groundwork that they set, and I just run with it and I amplify it.
That's exactly how I played this.
Yeah. Like as a director?
No.
So you went by the character? So you were opposite to Quarry. Why did you make that choice?
There was less choices, I felt, in this than what there was in the Quarry.
But from delivery, the game's almost identical, so that's fascinating.
Yeah. And they kind of shoehorned themselves into a position very early on.
Yeah, they did.
Like, because two of them were two of the characters were in a relationship with each other. Another two felt like was starting one with each other, and then Charlie was just a dick because he has a fucking smoking addiction. Didn't have any smoke, so he was just like a cantankerous piece of shit the whole time. So that's just what I did.
Reverend Puck goes, there was less Ashley Tisdale, and that does work to this game's advantage. No fault of hers, just that she
looked real weird.
Yeah, she looked real fucking weird in House of Ashes. It's a real bummer. But anyways, yeah, that is so our review. I'll have more to say as I finish it. But yeah, Max rates it as the best of the Dark Pictures so far.
Very solid ending to what is chapter 1 of the anthology series.
Season 1, term 1, semester 1,
whatever,
anthology 1,
whatever whatever word that they're sticking in there.
Yeah. Anything else checked out this week?
I'm still playing Tactics Ogre Reborn, thanks to once again Bandai Namco Australia. And it's just been those 3. It's been Devil in Me, Tactics Ogre, and DMZ.
Yeah, every time I boot up my console, I'm like, oh, I got the chance. I talked about this last. I got the chance to play Entropy Center, Broken Pieces, like all these things. I'm like, DMZ, and like knowing full well that like come Friday we should have Midnight Suns. I'll have to play Hello Neighbor 2 with my kid because I'm getting it for his birthday. So like I've got a bunch of different games I'm gonna have to play, and it's just like really should get these out of the way. But I know
I gotta dive back into new tales from the Borderlands.
Yeah.
I've got Sigil of the Magi, thanks to the iterative collection over on Steam to play as well. Yeah. It's just we got busy all of a sudden.
Yeah, the problem,
I'm still trying to play catch up.
Yeah, and like I've just happened to get disengaged at the busy point. I'm a bit bummed about it, but what are you gonna do? But yeah, I myself haven't played anything else. Pretty much just DMZ, a little bit of Devil in Me, and I think that's it. Nice. Yeah, I haven't even gone back for more Ragnarok pickups or anything. It's been a Anyway, let's get into the section we call Inform the Plays. We tell you about what happened this week in PlayStation. We got 1, 2, 3.
We got three bits of Sony news.
So I'm gonna go number 1, so that way you can get the quickie bitties, Max. So first off the rank, Sony news. Sony is, as we know, they're making their way into the PC space, and this is happening more and more, it seems. So Sony is slowly expanding its library to PC, as we just discussed, and having since acquired Nixxes has helped those efforts. With rumors of Returnal coming to PC, it's almost near unconfirmed at this point. Polyphony Digital has hinted the GT7, Gran Turismo 7, may release on PC in the near future. Series creator Kazunari Yamauchi commented brief on the possibility in an interview with GT Planet in the Gran Turismo World Finals in Monaco this weekend. Asked if his team would consider a conversion of its latest acclaimed sim racer, the Auteur admitted, quote, "Yes, I do think so," end quote. Pretty affirmative there in terms of they'll consider it. It's worth noting that the release was listed in the all-encompassing NVIDIA leak, which has turned out to be pretty much bang on. Now, like when in terms of Returnal, Housemarque pretty much said it at GDC, I believe it was. Like, yeah, it's coming to PC. So, like, it's no surprise. And as we know, with obviously, as mentioned, Nixxes and just the ever-growing plan to expand the availability of these titles, it certainly won't ever be a day and date, but they are growing that. Now, Max, both you and I have garbage PCs. Mine is substantially shitter than yours. So, like, even the other day, we got given a review code for Miles Morales on PC. And we got given God of War on PC in the past, and Horizon, and the other Spider-Man. And we're just like, I'd love to give it a try, but I can't.
My PC would explode.
Oh, man, I'm running like a 970 first-gen Ryzen. Like, my PC is poo. And like it used to be able to edit videos like brilliantly. Now it's really having a rough time. My PC's so bad I can't even upgrade to Windows 11, even if I wanted to.
Yeah, mine's so bad that once a week I get blue screen telling me that I've unplugged my GPU whilst the computer's running.
Yes, I most certainly don't have that. That's true.
So, we get there. I'm running an old 1070.
Ooh. Hey.
I've got parts in this computer from when I was in high school.
Damn. Solid effort.
Mainly power supplies.
But yeah, this makes total sense as something that people will want, not full well knowing that like those that have the most elaborate bullshit fucking insane PC rigs will get a hard on for this, as they have their chairs and their multi-screens and all these different things. Now, with GT7 being, one of the best sim races out there, makes complete sense to put on the PC, and I don't think anyone's gonna be sad about it. Max, that's you next.
The big buyout. It sounds like it feels like we're talking about this every week, but Sony
No, it's
and
only because we're just
Microsoft,
playing a lot of DMZ. That's why. It's just...
Sony and Microsoft have once again made some outlandish statements. So, so
It's
this week,
not inaccurate.
Sony thinks that it can't compete without Call of Duty. That's the long and short of the enormous 20-page document that it's submitted to the UK government as it seeks to block Microsoft's proposed buyout of Activision Blizzard. Quote, Electronic Arts, one of the largest third-party developers after Activision, has tried for many years to produce a rival to Call of Duty with Battlefield. Despite the similarities between the two games, Call of Duty and Battlefield, and despite EA's track record in developing other successful AAA franchises such as FIFA, Mass Effect, Need for Speed, and Star Wars, the Battlefield franchise cannot keep up. As of August 2021, more than 400 million copies of Call of Duty games had been sold. Battlefield has sold just over 88.7 million copies. Basically, they're like, well, if Microsoft get Call of Duty, there's nothing we can fucking do to compete with it because Battlefield's a piece of shit. Basically, you know.
However, it's not inaccurate though. But yeah.
However, let's get deeper. Microsoft point out that Sony has more exclusive games, so it doesn't necessarily need the likes of Call of Duty to succeed. However, Microsoft's statement says, quote, many of Sony's first-party games are of better quality than its own output. To put it another way, the firm has officially documented its admission that its own titles are shit compared to Sony's. It goes on to call Sony, quote, the dominant console provider and a powerful games publisher, equivalent in size to Activision and nearly double the size of Microsoft's games publishing businesses. Sony lawyers putting everything on the line, quote, the acquisition would take an irreplaceable gaming franchise, Call of Duty, out of the independent hands and combine it with Microsoft's highly successful gaming system, the Xbox, leading multi-game subscription service, Games Pass, dominant PC OS, Windows, and leading cloud platform, Azure. The only way to preserve a robust competition and protect consumers and independent developers is to ensure that Activision remains independently owned and controlled. Microsoft wants PlayStation to become like Nintendo, so that it would be a less close and less effective competitor to Xbox. Post-transaction, Xbox would become the one-stop shop for all the best-selling shooter franchises on console. Call of Duty, Halo, Gears of War, Doom, Overwatch. It would then be free from any serious competitive pressure. Also in the report, Sony writes, quote, Microsoft has offered to continue making Activision's games available on PlayStation only till 2027. Likewise, in public comments just on October 26th, Microsoft said that it plans to offer Call of Duty on PlayStation only as long as it makes sense. A period until 2027 or some other possibly shorter time that Microsoft unilaterally determines, quote, makes sense to Microsoft. It's safe to say that PlayStation's stance is really clear. But it finishes with, quote, by the time SIE launched the next generation of its PlayStation console, which is likely to occur around a redacted date, it would have lost access to Call of Duty and other Activision titles, making it extremely vulnerable to consumer switching and subsequent degradation in its competitiveness, end quote. They also pointed out...
My favorite part about all this, which hasn't been mentioned, is in the report, like, of Microsoft's response.
I think I'm about to say that. They also point out that by doing this, it would allow Microsoft to up the price of their console.
Yeah.
And Microsoft turned around and went, well, you guys already did that, so fuck you.
Yeah. That wasn't the thing I was interested in. Look, there are some solid arguments in here. And I'm going to think the greatest point of this debate is its precedent. Right? That's what Jim Ryan and PlayStation are fighting for. The precedent. If this goes through, it means that no independent studio is safe anymore. And any studio any of the main console providers could do this again. Because any time that someone goes to buy it and they're like, well, that's too big, you can't buy that. And they're like, yeah, but Microsoft bought Activision though. You know what I mean? So, like, that is what I believe the primary fight is here. But I do love, in order to prove that it's not a big deal, Microsoft have to literally come out and go, yeah, we're shit, eh? Like, hey, like but even then, like their argument was like, hey, look, the last three Call of Duty games reviewed really poorly. They're not good games. Negating their ability to be the number one best-selling game every year and the bajillions of units that they tend to sell. But yeah, like, but I love that. Where is it? Where was that thing from before? Let's see. Yeah, many of Sony's first-party games are of better quality. Like, yeah. So, like, I understand. Like, to me, if I was them, I'm like, yeah, but doesn't that prove your point? That rather than make good games, you're choosing to buy games instead. Like, that in itself is a gross system to use. But you know, they pointed out a very, very good point here. Gaming system, Xbox, subscription service, Game Pass, PC with Windows, cloud with Azure. Like, this is my biggest argument that I've had for the longest time, even when it came down to crossplay, right? And granted, Microsoft pushing PlayStation to do it, big win. However, the argument at the time of like, hey, we do crossplay, we do it with PC. My argument always was you're high-fiving yourself. Like, it's like, hey, they're not two different platforms. Microsoft is the leader in both of them in terms of the Xbox. They lead it because they own it. PC, they lead it because they are Windows. Like, they make money on both sides. So by them just going, aren't we brilliant, is ineffective. Now, granted, PlayStation it's not their fault that Microsoft made the best cloud service platform. Nor do they have the infrastructure to ever deliver that. So much so that they are contracted to Microsoft to use Azure in the future. But I would argue that obviously PlayStation are the better console. Like, data backs that up in terms of market value, market share, all these different things that win in its favor. But some of these big swings that they're going for aren't wrong.
I think the funniest thing is both sides are like, no, we're shit. Like, you can't do this because we're shit. Like, or it's you have to do this because we're shit. Like, let us buy this because we're crap. Like, we need this. And then Sony's like, no, but we're crap because we don't have this. We need this too, so you can't have it because our stuff's crap. Because you got better stuff over here. We might have better stuff over there, but you got better stuff over there. Therefore, we need this to stay equally on both of us.
Yeah,
it's just this weird. My stance has shifted from this is definitely going through to like this may not fucking go through.
Yeah, like I'm not so certain about it anymore.
Because there was another thing that came out. Apparently, there's a Swedish holding company that has a stake or owns shares in Activision Blizzard. Yeah. And apparently they're filing a lawsuit saying that there was collusion between Microsoft and Activision because they're like, how the fuck did Bobby Kotick just not have anything bad happen to him out of all this? Microsoft has swooped in and went, we'll keep you out of all of this, but we want you to sell to us for this.
Well, that was the thing, right? So, like, these are big accusations. Like, when we're talking about essentially insider trading and collusion like this, like, it's huge. And they're essentially claiming that, like, just before the purchase of the express interest in purchasing Activision, all those massive things came out about Bobby Kotick, all the gross things that have happened at the likes of Activision, and Blizzard. Like, but somehow everyone's like, it's fine. And like, notice how it's all gone quiet. No, all the gross shit that was talked about of Activision suddenly gone. And like, what would that do? Like, how all that information just coming out of nowhere just before the announcement of the purchase, that's going to drastically affect share prices now, isn't it? Now, suddenly ABK, Activision Blizzard King, is worth less money purchased. I don't think they're wrong either. It's a little tinfoil hattie, that's for sure, but they're not wrong. If they want to, it looks that way. It really does, at least externally from an optic standpoint. Now, we as the consumer, or we as the general populace, only see one side of the picture. Now, if these conversations were happening in the past, shareholders presumably would need to be involved, right? When it's such an exchange and their dollar's going to be affected, they can't find out the same day we do that the acquisition was going to happen, can they? Is there some sort of reporting obligation to report to your stakeholders that this is going to happen? But I presume not, because if they leak that information before it goes public, that is insider trading. So I think I'm totally wrong. But the point still stands. If the people that have shares in the gross company go, it's a little bit weird that it's not considered gross anymore, that says something. Yeah. But yeah, what about you, Max? Like, I know I've kind of just ranted and raved about it again, but
I mean, it all makes sense. I'm fucking honestly sick of talking about it. It comes up, but with this week and what the statements that were made by both parties, it seemed imperative to kind of talk about it. The fact that they're both being so self-depreciating and self-deprecating and all that. It's just it's an amusing stance. They're like, no, your game's over. No, you're just.
Yeah, but like, what I really hope comes out of this is this.
I just love the argument of like, fucking Nintendo can do it. Nintendo don't need a shooter. Fuck you guys. You don't need a shooter. Just keep making those third-party action adventure over-the-shoulder games, you fucks.
But what I really hope is that someone goes, but are you looking at what Nintendo are doing right now? Like, look at fucking Pokemon.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah. It's just...
Let fucking Bungie make a first-person shooter. Don't be fuck.
Yeah, but they don't want to. You know, like, it's one of those things. And look, Microsoft have an argument. They're like, oh, we're doing so bad that we haven't released a great first party game in forever. We can't claim Psychonauts because that was made before we bought that game. We didn't make it. We didn't assist. Deathloop, yeah, we didn't do that one either. You know, like Ghostwire Tokyo, it was fine. No one really talked about it. But like, you know, what I mean, like any of their big wins, quote unquote, in the last X amount of years aren't their wins. Halo Infinite, disappointing at launch. Crackdown 3 sucked a whole bunch of asshole. Like, Grounded is really dope. They bought that with Obsidian. Like, there is nothing that that Microsoft have fostered in the last couple of years, and so their argument is totally valid. But by them going, well, we can't do anything good, just going to buy everyone, is also not the right angle either. And I know there's nothing in a capitalistic system. There's nothing against that they can fight against. But Reverend Puck in the chat brings up Forza. Forza is their only win, but oddly enough, people don't consider, like, even though Forza is the superior console racing game.
It's niche. Racing games tend to be a niche type, a niche genre.
And because PlayStation have one with Gran Turismo,
you just wait until those Forza people release Fable.
It's gonna be poo hole.
No, it's not. Please don't do that.
No.
Please don't do that.
What faith do you have that anything they release will be good?
I have all the faith. I have all the faith. Especially if I can drive a fucking car in Fable.
Oh, you're coming at it from the wrong angle.
Skyrim had a horse. I want a fucking Ferrari in Fable.
Yeah, then you get a fucking horse, car armor DLC, like old Skyrim and Oblivion, sorry. But look, no one's bringing up Forza because PlayStation have GTA, Gran Turismo. They don't give a shit. Like, no one's arguing because we have our equivalent, so it's not an argument. But like, the reason, because Call of Duty is a second to Grand Theft Auto, the biggest gaming franchise ever. That's why that's using as the flagpole. Like, that's the one that's hitting the ground. Like, I guarantee you, neither fucking Microsoft or Activision can give a flying fuck about any other purchase and any other IP within the ABK purchase, because no one fucking cares. Like, are you gonna really, really be worried about anything else? No, probably not. But because no other franchise within console platforms from Activision Blizzard King are of that importance. Overwatch buried itself. Blizzard burned itself with Blizzard burnt themselves with Overwatch. Overwatch used to be really highly praised. Overwatch 2 killed it, right? Like, what, Diablo? Okay, cool. It's not anything of note in the longest time. Diablo 4 is right around the corner, I guess, but under their backlash of Diablo Immortal, suddenly no one cares about Diablo anymore.
You'll be making that WoW money.
Yeah, World of Warcraft. Since World War 3 reforged or whatever the fuck, that was such a fucking mess. Warcraft has poo.
We're gonna get fucking Candy Crushed.
Yeah. King. Like, I think a lot of people have talked about this. Like, King is the secret winner here. Like, because that's a lot of money, and Microsoft don't fuck with mobile games. PlayStation are trying, but like interestingly enough, no one is coming in that. You know what I mean? Interesting. But anyways, that's all that one. Next, PlayStation are doing more things in China. China, Hero Project Productions, like Fist, Forged and Shadow Torch, have added meaningful variety to the platform holders' indie game output. It's something the manufacturer is eager to continue, and according to a report published by Reuters, Reuters, R-E-U-T-E-Rs, I'm going to call it Reuters, it will invest more than 1 million yen, about 140,000 USD, I presume, into each title that it incubates. Bao Bo, the director of the initiative, made the commitment as part of the event in Chengdu earlier today, at time of writing, as the program was officially relaunched following the pandemic. Sony is calling the next set of projects it signs as their, quote, third season, and it promises that its output will greatly exceed the previous two. One such project on its docket is Lost Soul Aside, which the manufacturer signed many years ago, but is now targeting on an early 2024 launch. It's a release that will be published globally by the organization.
Which is Sony.
Yeah, what are you feeling about this China project?
They're cool. I've been following this since they showed off the trailer for fucking Black Wukong.
Yeah.
I think it's Black Wukong.
Yeah, that one, I think so, yeah.
It looks great. Out of this came wasn't directly from the China Hero project, but they managed to secure the likes of Genshin Impact to be exclusive on PlayStation consoles. That game's gangbusters. Money trap for days, that game is, but you know, it's cool. And I like all that kind of stuff. You know, a lot of these games, especially the Lost Soul Aside, they're kind of sketchy Souls-like games. Yeah. They're right up my alley. Most of these look fantastic, and they're coming out of those like AA studios in China that don't get much love here over in the West. And it's cool to see stuff like that come over this way. That's not just that random bloatware bullshit that is no good. Yeah. It just fills up the store for no reason.
Like, it's good. It's a weird line because it's good in that there are games that are coming from that market. Sure, because they have I'm sure they have interesting stories to tell. They may have innovative new ways of delivering games than they ever had before. Big win. That would be great. However,
Black Myth Wukong.
Black Wukong. Yeah, Black Myth Wukong. However, like, it's better in that they're not games being pushed out by the likes of Tencent or Project Infinite? NetEase or something
NetEase
Infinite.
China, right?
Yeah, those three. Tencent, NetEase, and something Infinite, which are like, they're all, you know, development studios or publishers that are publishers that have known connections to the CCP, so the China's Communist Party, and with their such prevalence in the gaming space at the moment, they're the ones that are buying up all the spaces. That is a greater concern, and if Sony can still deliver some really good stuff, some potentially good games out of that space, without having to involve that other side, sure. Like, we do live in a globalized market, so why not have a platform that allows globalization, for better or worse, I suppose. Yeah. But it's interesting to see nonetheless. Like, I haven't played Fist. I really wanted to. It looked sick. It was the bunny with a big honking, like, you know, Hellboy arm. Looked great.
Yeah. Quick bits. Loving this. Street Fighter 6 has been rated in Korea.
Ooh, I mean, it's probably close next year.
Getting closer. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is leaving PlayStation Extra on the 20th of December.
Quick, Max, you have even less time to get your choice.
I'm playing on the PopC account. That's where I fucking started that shit. I'm not starting again. Sifu's Fall update gives a replay editor so you can make your own kung fu films.
That's kind of cool. I like that. That's pretty bad. Just cut together your own John Wick.
That's it. Dead Island 2 showcase coming in December.
Dead Silent? You spelled it wrong.
Yeah, fuck off. God of War Ragnarok is the fastest selling first party Sony game ever. In a recent interview with God of War, Ragnarok director said, quote,
Eric
I wouldn't
Williams.
count on it in regards to DLC.
Makes total sense.
Warzone 2 has hit more than 25 million players in its first 5 days.
Yeah, it's our fault. We're part of that. We're part of that problem.
Yeah. Wouldn't have hit 25 mil without us. You're welcome, Activision Blizzard.
Go these guys. Here are the upcoming games. Here are the games that are coming out this week. You get Sable on the PS5 for November 29th. Soccer Story. Now, Mac, can you Google? Is these the same guys that made Golf Story on the fucking Switch?
Think so.
Because I want to play the living shit out of this. Golf Story was a mint. I loved Golf Story. November 29th. Sword of the Vagrant, PS5, PS4, November 30th. The Outbound Ghost, November 30th on PS5 and PS4. Gundam Evolution, PS5, PS4. Stop, Jerdman, December 1st. Marvel's Midnight Suns, PS5, PS4, December 2nd. Hell yes on that one. Need for Speed Unbound, oh yeah, coming to PS5, December 2nd. And the Callisto Protocol, PS5, PS4, December 2nd also. The Callisto Protocol, main sponsor of WWE Survivor Series War Games, which blew my mind. I tell you, as all the ads popped up for it today, it was an absolute blast. But before we jump into the wrap-up of the show, we did get a question from Mythianda in the chat. They asked, if PlayStation made a new portable, do you think they would make cartridges? No. I see the next portable console being digital only.
Yeah, with a fucking proprietary charging cable.
Yeah, something fucking dumb. Like, they'll find a way. They'll make it digital only, and then it'll be either proprietary fucking SD cards again, or something dumb like that, and it'll be stupid. But, yeah, they won't. They're like, no UMDs, no cartridges. They did it with the PSP Go. They started on it, but that wasn't the right time. The PSP Go was way too early for an all digital future. But like my Switch, mine games are all digital. When it comes to a handheld, the future is digital. What's your thoughts?
Yeah. And then they'll shut down the store prematurely.
Yeah, and then they'll decide, like, they'll give you about 3 days notice. They're going to shut it all down and fuck with you, and then not release anything. Actually, that's a good question. Like, I presume it's somewhere in Sony and PlayStation's, what is it called? R&D development, R&D areas, research and development. They are working. Like, there has had to be a prototype somewhere for a Vita 2 or a secondary handheld. You reckon? Has to be.
No, I don't.
No. Whether they're executing on it is very different. I guarantee you someone's like built one, like as in like they've researched one, like, hey, this is what it would be, but whether they'll ever action it, nah.
I reckon there may be a drawing on a napkin somewhere. I don't know how deep they would have gone down that rabbit hole after.
Well, look, knowing full well that like when the PS4 launched, they were already speccing the PS5. What makes you think they haven't at least specced the idea of what a portable console would be? Like, how can they, like, at least the idea of, like, how can we do it cost effectively?
Because their home console is just far superior to their portable. And they've never been, like, no matter what, they were never going to, like, encroach on fucking Nintendo's fucking iron grip of the handheld space. Yeah. And they realized that after releasing 2 PSPs, and they're like, it's not for us.
How's the Steam Deck doing? Like, it's doing well?
I think everyone, from what I hear, everyone who's got one fucking loves it, and they're all playing the same one game.
Which is?
I don't know.
Spider-Man.
I don't know. I got an email yesterday saying that the Steam fall sale's on at the moment, and it's like one of the options in the sale is fucking best on deck. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, sounds cool. Hot. So they're giving it the support, I guess.
Yeah, get on the deck. You know, it's probably like a smart bit of sales pitch from them, but. Yeah, like, I guess that's the thing. I mean, that would be the line. Like, if you can play PS4 quality games on the go, that is what your next console, your next handheld will be.
I'm just not a bloody handheld guy, really.
I say that, though. I say that like I haven't played a metric fuck ton of Warzone, of DMZ on Backbone this week. I've gone to bed. I'm like, I'm tired. I go to bed. I plug my phone into the Backbone.
I'm a sucker for playing League of Legends on phone now that they have a mobile app for it.
So I'm not against it. I'm just saying. But anyways, that does bring us to the end of the show.
Fuck handhelds.
Big thank you to everyone for joining us once again. Hey, and everyone that came a little bit earlier as well as hot.
Yeah, thank you for
started recording.
Coming earlier just for me.
By wrapping the show up now at 8:30, that gives Max like an hour and a bit of sleep before he has to go to work. So he is very happy.
I'm stoked.
Beautiful. All right, well, let's get this bad boy started. Get that wrapped up. Max, let's get him out of here.
All right, everyone. This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. But if you'd like to take part in future conversations with us, you can. Come and check out our socials: Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and Twitter. All of those links can be found in the description below.
If you want to join the conversation... what?
Just before you go, do we have a Hive yet?
No. I did think about it. Could we make Hive? Well, Facebook's fucking dead, so I still can't get it back. I'm not having much love there. But if you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopcultures, where you can jump in the chat and watch us record this show live. And fuck Hive, says Jared in the chat. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation Pod. If you are listening on podcast services, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you watch us on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. If you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/thepopcultures, as well as our merchandise store, popculture.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. But until next week, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And that was for the players. And Max is asleep.